Well, today here in the shop, we're back on the 26 Oakland again. Seems like we're doing a lot of episodes on this car right now, but that's only because we're doing a lot of work on this car right now. So, well, Dad will be here soon and we're going to get into it. We're going to button up the front of the engine and put the radiator on it, and we got some news and some updates, and, well, there's just going to be stuff. So let's just get right after it. I'm Mike, and this is My Car Shop.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Car's Shop.
Life has definitely been busy, busier than it has a right to be right now, and challenges on many, many fronts for sure, but always moving forward, always making progress, so that's good. But we're really focusing and concentrating on this car right now because we really want to get it started. In the last episode I mentioned we needed a new carburetor. That carburetor should be here in a few days now, so it's been some time since we worked on it last, but we are spending a lot of time on this, as I mentioned. But there's still a lot of other things we want to do to get it ready to fire up. We're not going to be getting the fuel system ready yet. That's not important. We can run it without that. That's another whole project. But we really want to get the car fired up and make sure what the condition of this engine is. And this is just one step closer. I'm hoping the next video you see after this will be, will it run after 75 years? I hope. Anyway, so enough of the talk. Like I said, Dad will be here in a few minutes, and we're going to tear right into it. I've got to do some arranging in the shop and make some room. It's been busy out here, and just not everything is episode worthy. I'm trying to stay focused on hot rods and not focus on some of the other work that I've been doing. So, all right, well, anyway, time to get the shop opened up and get ready to get after it. So we thought our first step of the day would be to get the tires on the back wheels so we can get them on the car. So we've shown you how to do this in detail, so we're going to get through this quickly for you, but just again sharing every step of the process. So we'll get these tires on these rims and then get them on the car and get on to other things. Too high. There you go. It's got to be just about centered straight and straight on.
Oh, that's right. This has got to go through there, though.
Oh, yeah, good point. Did you find the hole for it?
You can turn this, right?
Yep.
Easier to do that from the top.
Yeah, probably. And they said you got to kind of put it on pretty straight. You can't have a whole lot of angle on it. So.
Okay.
And you got, also, remember, you've got that rim locker that's got to stay in the center also. There you go. Yep, you got it.
Sort of.
Yep, and then you might have to give it a kick to get it in there. Your butt dial on your phone. There you go. You might just want to sit down and just give it a kick with your feet on both sides.
Okay. Let's see, let's do it.
There you go. There you go. Yep.
Still
Perfect.
not quite there, is it?
The wedges will pull it on from that point. So
Oh, okay.
otherwise, you're just gonna be chasing yourself back and forth.
Yeah.
'Cause I think it was on and then it came out on this side. So.
Okay.
Let's see if the wedges will do it. Yeah, there's enough there, I think. So, oops. It went, but-
Let's go that one more.
Okay. But now that these are on there, it should be easier to kick it around.
I do those right?
The wide side goes out.
Oh, this side, yeah. Okay.
So just like that, see? Yep, just like that.
That makes sense. That's going a lot easier that way too.
Yeah. Okay, good. Looks like they'll all pull on. All right, we'll do those by hand. I don't want to use the air ratchet on them.
Missing a nut.
What's that?
We're missing a nut. Oh, there it is, I think.
So it can't be gone anywhere. Well, the back end is on the floor and the front end is ready to go on the floor, and that's kind of exciting because this will be the first time in close to 75 years that it's sat on its own tires with air in them at least, although I know briefly it had some air in it when it was moved about 15 or 20 years ago, but it didn't hold air for very long before they made a big loud bang. So hopefully we don't hear any big loud bangs and this will be down on the floor. Here she goes. Ah, that feels good. It's been, what, close to 2 years now? Yeah, because it was September of 2019 that we brought it here. October of 19, so it's October of 21, and a year behind schedule because of the pandemic, but hey, we're making progress. So our next step is to get the front of this motor put together. At first I wasn't going to do that, but I thought better of it and realized we want to get some coolant in this thing and check for leaks and stuff like that. We might as well move forward on that. If we have to pull the motor out, it really won't take that long to pull the radiator back out. But we got the lower pulley on here, the cam pulley, to drive the water pump. We need to get a new belt and of course get the fan back on. We'll probably take the radiator out either to the spigot here and just give it a rinse out, or we might go ahead and take it to the car wash. But I think we'll just give it a rinse here at this time. So that's the next steps. We got the car on its wheels. We've rolled it out a little bit. I want to roll it out about another 5 or 6 feet to do the next bit of our work over here, just because it'd be fun to have the variety. So that's what's happening next. Clutch is definitely stuck. So our next step is to get these old hoses off and get those measured so we can run to town and see if we can get some of the universal hose to cut to fit to put on this, and again get the radiator cleaned out. Did take a moment, and as you saw, just put it in gear, cranked it, and let it roll forward, just because it was nice to see it move under its own power for the first time ever in my life. Maybe yours too.
Yes.
So okay, the motor's not running, but kind of. Oh, and I checked the clutch for sure it is stuck, which I was 99% sure it was. So we'll have to start it just like that once it's running, and then drive it around, and hopefully maybe the clutch will break loose. This one's so bent there's no way it's going to ever screw out. So.
Yeah.
Okay, and you got the bottom one off, you said, right? Okay, maybe this one will screw out too, and then we don't have to cut this off. Those both are straight. Let me get some liquid wrench on those, and that way they'll probably come out. So, if you remember back, I don't know, 15, 20 episodes ago when we were taking this radiator off, these rubber hoses are as stiff as a stick. They're hard as a rock. So we took the clamps off, and what I did on the engine was just take my cutoff wheel and just cut the hose so we could just peel it off. So I'm going to do the same thing here. You just have to be careful not to get too deep so that you actually don't cut into the neck on the radiator or the water pump or whatever. Oh, that's awful tight in there, isn't it? Let's go this way. Probably didn't go deep enough. Can't see what I'm doing very well here.
And hold it up there.
Yeah, it's there we go. There's no way that's going to come off any other way. So we'll have to do the same thing down there. I think all of these necks are the same size, so we can just take the caliper and measure that, and then just get some universal hose. You know, that'll fit that. It should fit all of them. So, because on these vehicles, they're just a straight hose. There's nothing fancy. There's no curves. There's no different sizes on each end or anything. I was noticing that it's a brass tank like most radiators, but these are, I think, cast iron or some kind of cast material soldered into it. So that's unique. I've never seen one like that before. Stanky.
Oh, you got it.
Okay.
Oh, it looks pretty good, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, because they're cast.
Okay. Good.
They shouldn't be bad. So the only one that's bad is that upper one, and that's because that's a steel tube. So we'll just cut that off and just, longer hose, and we'll just get, I don't know, a couple feet, 3 feet maybe, so we have plenty extra.
Sure.
For the price of this stuff, and
So they're all the same size?
I think so. We'll get the dial caliper and measure it for sure, but they're just a straight hose. Same thing the Model A had, except the Model A had, I think they were brass nipples on there.
What do you imagine this is?
That's where Grandpa had that stainless piece put on. That needs to go.
Oh, okay.
He had that to make it look like a 30. He had on the front of it, he had a stainless steel piece that ran down the radiator. This will ruin the radiator, so
Yeah.
I get what you were doing, Grandpa, but that's bad show right there, so I'm not interested in replicating that piece of family history when it could damage the radiator.
Need to be careful with.
Yes, very much so. Matter of fact, it might be better to cut it on the other side, but it looks like you got it. Absent-minded professor strikes again. I set my calipers down the other day when I was measuring the hubs for the thread pitch and thread size for the tool to pull the wheels off. And I don't know where it went, so it's here somewhere. But we can do it the old-fashioned way, and you just find a wrench that's the same size, 1.25 inches, which actually it's just a bit bigger than that. It's 1 5/16", but it's a rubber hose, so we'll be fine with 1.25 inches or 1 5/16". Either one will work. One will stretch or one will crimp down. So we'll go get some hose like that.
Okay.
Go ahead. You're not going to hurt it because the stainless is protecting it. So we think that, my opinion, 29 or 26 Oakland didn't come with this. Stainless down the middle, and this is put on here with a piece of wire. So Grandpa probably did that to try to make it look like a more modern car. Not a good idea to have that running through the radiator. It could potentially put a hole in the radiator. So we're going to remove that. And some parts of family history you want to preserve, and some parts of family history you're better off just forgetting about. And I think this one's worth forgetting about. So we don't want to damage the radiator. It's in good shape, and I'm just not comfortable with that being in there, potentially rubbing on those brass radiator cores and chafing holes through it. I'm impressed with how clean that is. That's a good sign. I was expecting it to be really dirty. Not much rust in that. If I don't squirt myself in the face, I haven't done my job. No, that's good. I was expecting to see a massive amount of rust out of that. So. Okay, so we're going to squirt some water in this thing and see what kind of grind comes out. I just put an old hose on here just to see what comes out and kind of direct it down into the pan rather than just letting it make a big mess. Well, it's coming out the block back there. That's good. Nice and clean there. That's good. So rather than making a mess up there, we're making a mess over here. I had that petcock here loose before, so it's all good. Don't see any water in the oil yet. That's good. Oops. No water in the oil. And I'm quite surprised it's coming out that clean, but if you remember back 5 episodes or more, I had blown a lot of air down into the block and loosened things up. So I know we haven't gotten water all the way up completely in the block, but I think we got most of the dirt and grime out of there when I blew it all out, so that's good. All right, I guess it's time to put a radiator in. I think I just wet my pants. I'm carrying that radiator.
Drop down in there. Right?
Yeah, we may have to take those. I can take the bolts out. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's a blow fit, isn't it? Because we've got to go back a long ways yet.
Yeah.
It's holding us up.
Right here. This.
So we're just trying to get that.
It's pushing against the crank
Yeah.
right now. If it drops down, it'll go in there. Oh, that.
Is it hitting that pan?
No, it's hitting the drain plug.
Okay.
Careful, don't break that off.
Yep. So we just got to do that. There we go.
Yep.
Okay. And we don't want to poke this through the radiator. So be careful about that.